Hey everybody, welcome. Happy to see you. So I got a special thing going on right now that I've never done before. I thought you guys might find interesting. I am actually live streaming on Facebook behind the scenes, so you get to see me this way. If you go on Facebook, you get to see the green screen behind me and some friends that are on there. I just pasted my link. Aaron's really hungry. Well, hang tight, Aaron. We're gonna look at your essay. Or eat a banana. Bananas are good for you. Potassium, good for your muscles. Hi, Abdullah Wahab. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Siham, hello. Good to have you. Ibrahim's there, messaging me. Hi. In class right now. I can talk later. You're from Sudan. Okay, nice. I want to start a school in Sudan, actually. I have a friend who's Sudanese, and he's down there right now in South Sudan. So that's really cool. I'd love to chat about that more. We can talk a little bit later on. So, hi, Siham. Hello. Rosa, hello as always. You're here. Thank you for being in class. Nora's here as well. Jamerson, what's up? Is this your first class? It's good to have you here. We have Chari. I still don't see Mona. Are you here, Mona? If you're here, say hi. Say hello. And for people on Facebook, if I'm looking above you, it's because I'm looking at YouTube right now. So good to have everybody. So I wanted to open up. Well, Robel, nice to have you in class. Don't watch the whole thing on Facebook because you're not going to see the lessons. You're just going to see the green screen behind me. For everybody else, you get the whole lesson. So keep watching on YouTube. It's better. Khalid, hi. How are you? So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everybody. We're starting class, and this is one of the two last episodes of our English for Academic Purpose essay writing series. We've been talking about writing academic essays. We've gone over APA formatting, stylization, citations both in text and at the end of our essay, our reference page or our bibliographies. Islam, hello. Miriam, hello. Raid, so many. Deadly Calm, you're back. What's up? So many familiar faces. Okay, Nora's sleepy. Oh, Rosa's sick. You're still sick. I sent you that photo of chicken noodle soup. You should be feeling better. I'm so happy to have everybody here, but I want to talk to you guys about clarifications of questions you might have on essay formation. Okay, we've talked about a lot of stuff, but I want to start class today just by opening up the dialogue to what general questions do you have about essay composition? What haven't we covered yet? What can I help you with out of the gate? Then what we're going to do is we're going to look at our second drafts from Rosa and from Aaron. Thank you for sharing with me and giving me permission to use those in class. That's awesome. Nora says that she's a little frustrated because she can't finish the story she's writing for writing class. Stories are composed a little bit differently than academic essays. And Nora, I'm happy to discuss that more with you. Later on. I'm going to focus this class today on academic writing. So questions for academic writing, please. And then we can talk about that subject later on. I love story composition too. I have a creative writing degree in English. So I love composition of creative stories and poems and all that stuff. Okay. Lots of great comments. And Ibrahim, I'm happy to help you with that later on. Let's chat in about an hour. I'll be on the road, but I can sort of text you at red lights or something. Not supposed to do that, but take a rest after class, Rosa. Aaron says, yeah, and a speedy recovery for Rosa. Everybody, I think, wants to wish Rosa well. Hope you feel better soon. Okay. So let's get started. I don't see any questions about academic writing yet. So if we don't, Daniel, Kim, hey, what's up, man? Good to see you on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube too. And Abdullah, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Daniela, hi, how are you? Are you back home? What's going on? Ivy, hello. We're doing our academic writing class. For all of you on Facebook, I checked the comments. I put a link to our live class, which is happening right now. That way you can see all the curricula in the background on the screen. For Facebook folks, it's green. For everybody else, it's like an orange color. And off to the side too, for whatever reason. Let me fix that. I'm gonna go to the lesson though. I'm gonna get out of Facebook here and I'm gonna go to our Smrt class, take attendance real quick. So if you're on YouTube, you're gonna see that. Boom, I'm in the corner. Take attendance, and now we're gonna talk about our lesson. Okay, so Patricia from Argentina, hello. Good to have you in class. Nice to have you here. Rosa asks, when can we write an analytical, critical essay? That's a very good question. We should do that soon. We're going to talk about essay types in the next class on Thursday. To kind of wrap everything up, that's part of it. Analytical, I'd like to talk about just a little bit. You brought that up, and that's a very good point. What is an analytical approach to essay composition? Ty, what's up, man? From Spokane, good to have you. YouTube link if you want to see the lesson. We're talking about essays here, academic essays. People are joining the class. Very cool. Happy to have you. So this is for English for academic purposes. So we're talking about lots of features of academic writing. Strategy of organization in our composition. We're also talking about being faithful to APA formatting, making sure that our essays are submitted and they're readable, that they're logical in their flow. We haven't really talked about all the aspects of rhetoric. I'll save that for another series, but that's an interesting topic of conversation too. So Rosa was asking about an analytical approach to essay composition. So I'm going to go into, for you premium subscribers, the lesson that we're actually talking about. You can see it in the background on YouTube here. And this is composing an essay with the topic of the effects on immigration, or the effects of immigration on labor, and the labor shortage specifically in the North American country of Canada. So these resources that you can see in the background, and for all you Facebookers, this is what you're missing out on. For everybody else, it looks like this, out of focus a little, but that's on YouTube. So this is sort of an essay that's very structured and very guided. We have our topic, which is given to you. And then we have our body paragraphs, which are laid out for you. So an introduction, of course, we have a hook that gains our audience's attention. We consider our audience. Who are we writing for? Who is going to read this? And then we think about what order do we want to deliver the information in. So we have our 3 body paragraphs. We intro the subject. We end our introduction paragraph with our initial thesis, what we intend the message of our essay to be. Thank you, everybody, for all the thumbs up. That's awesome. And after the intro, we support our thesis. We support that approach, that perspective, that opinion, and we stick by it. And we support it with facts, with figures, with numbers, with statistics, with exemplars, because we can't just claim something without any foundation. The foundation, the support of our argument, our academic argument, is the body paragraphs that have supporting evidence, and we cite those sources. We make sure they're credible. So the 3 body paragraphs, again, in this very, very structured essay, are what has caused Canada's labor shortage? What is the cause? And we discussed in an earlier class, this is multifaceted. It's not one single reason why there's a labor shortage in Canada. It's the aging population, the low birth rate. We've talked about other possibilities that we didn't research, inflation. There's many, many potentialities there for causation. But we want to stick to the sources that we were given and use that as supporting evidence. So body paragraph 1, what is the cause? Body paragraph 2, what is a positive effect of immigration or migrant labor? Body paragraph 3, what is a negative effect or impact? And then your conclusion is an assessment. So Rosa asked, what is analytics? What is an analytical approach? Okay, Rosa, and everybody else. An analytical approach is when you take information you find from a credible source. You take information like a statistic. And I'm going to bring up Rosa's essay because she's so kind to share this with us. Zoom in a little bit here and remove the revision history so you can see a bigger view of it. So Rosa has excellent citations that support this. In her first body paragraph, as we went over in last class, she has this sentence. According to the Department of Finance in Canada, 2012, the fertility rate in Canada has rapidly plummeted from a high of 3.9 children per woman in 1959 to 1.7 in 1979 and continued at this rate for coming years. And she cites that source in her references, and we'll talk about in-text citation more in a moment. But that's an example. So that's a fact, right? That's not pulled from our brains. That's not from our minds. That's from research we did on our topic. The analytical part is what we think about that, how we are analyzing, processing that information. So this is why academic essays can be written by 30 different students in an upper level academic writing class with the same topic and even the same perspective, but you get different essays because we think about these topics and this information differently, which is why it's so beautiful to read 30 essays on the same topic with the same perspective, because people take different approaches to it, right? Haman, Nitesh, good to have you in class. Thank you for being here. And hey, everybody's still on Facebook watching. That's awesome. Even though you should go to YouTube because they're getting a better view. They get the lesson. Or do both. I don't know. So where I'm going with that is both Rosa and I, if we're students writing this essay, can take that same quotation, that same citation, and analyze it differently. What comes after that is what truly makes your essay, your thoughts, your analysis, your opinion. So this is kind of what I was trying to structure when we had dialogue in the chat. And I said, what do you think about immigration and labor, that connection? What do you think about the relationship between immigration and labor in general for any country? Do you guys remember when we talked about that? Yes. Okay, Rosa's asking about her citation here, and let's take a look at it. She changed it from the Department of Finance in Canada 2012. So what you want to do here, Rosa, is not actually include the date in this section. Even though you say according to, we still want to make a citation there. And you would put it right here in parentheses before the punctuation and the date. So that's how we want to cite that. I know it seems redundant, but you have to remember anything in parentheses, parenthetical notations, that are citations and essays, we basically read over. So if I'm going to finish this sentence after the coordinating conjunction here, or conjunction here, it would finish continued at this rate for the coming years. I wouldn't actually read the parenthetical citation there. I would move on and say, for these reasons, the rate of the elderly to the working age population in Canada, blah, 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 blah. So hopefully that helps a little bit with your in-text citation. Carver, Kate, hey, what's up? Good to have you guys. So again, when looking at an analytical approach to essay writing, to answer your question again, Rosa, we're already doing it. We're already using analysis. The analysis is your thoughts, your perspective of the research information that you've accumulated. So going back up the chat chain here in YouTube, Deadly Calm says, Josh, what do you think is more important, substance and style, and why? Faulkner and McCarthy favors style more than substance for some reason. Wow, that is a great question, Deadly Calm. That's a great question to think on. We could probably talk for a whole class on that question alone. Substance and style. Stylistics, when we've talked about them in this class, have largely been formats, APA, MLA and APA, right? We talked about those two formatting styles, and we went deeper into APA because of a lot of our students, the programs, the master's programs that they want to study. They're likely going to use APA formatting over MLA. Any hard science will favor generally APA. So stylistics has a whole nother meaning or definition, and that comes down to what we're talking about right now, your analysis. So you can deliver your analysis in so many ways. Do you guys remember when we were doing our paraphrasing activity, where we had one sentence and we were paraphrasing it in several different ways? You can say the same thing in English many, many, many different ways. And how you choose to deliver that, which clause you choose to include first in your sentence, can change emphasis, it can change tone, even sometimes perspective or meaning. But in paraphrasing, we were talking about keeping the same meaning but saying it a different way. And this is important in academic writing because you begin your essay with an introduction paragraph. Even though you don't have to write that first, remember, you can write that paragraph last. But you'll still include a thesis. And your thesis you're going to restate in your conclusion paragraph. But you don't want to just repeat. You want to restate and say it again in a stronger way. I will turn that volume off, sorry. You'll restate it in a different way. And hopefully with more meaning based on the other content within the essay. So I would say that I would argue that substance is a balance that you must maintain between style. So substance and style are both important. For me to say one is vastly more important than another would be irresponsible. What are we talking about when we talk about substance? We're talking about the content of your essay. So what is the content of your essay? References and opinions on those references. Citations and analytics, your analysis of those citations, right? So we have a fact. Like, here's a simple fact. I am an American, right? Plain fact. I can show you my passport. I'm an American. What's your analysis of that? Now, people from all over the world may have very different opinions of that. Sometimes students will come up to me and say, Joshua, you're not American. And I'll say, why do you think that? And they will say, because you're not vastly overweight. You're not hugely overweight and eating McDonald's every day. And I say, well, that's a stereotype. That's not true of all Americans. But that is one analysis of the fact that I'm an American, right? Another analysis might be, oh, you're an American. Your English is perfect. No, my English isn't perfect. I happen to know a lot about the English language, but everybody makes grammar mistakes sometimes or spelling mistakes, including your teachers. Every teacher you've ever had also makes mistakes sometimes. So this is a discussion that you sort of have with yourself as you write your analysis, your essay. So it's a very tough question. I love the question and I want to talk about it all day. But Deadly Calm, your question about what is more important, substance or style, they're both important, but it is important to find a balance. I could give you a list of facts in a very boring way, where the facts are important, but it's just monotone. You've seen these speakers at lectures, right? They say, the labor force in Canada has been reduced over the years for blah, 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 blah. Boring. You're going to fall asleep. And you've seen people that are really energetic, but they have nothing of substance to say, right? Ooh, I love being outside. I love tacos. It's awesome. Today's a sunny day. But I'm not giving you any real information that's valuable, right? So I have to find that balance between substance and style. I hope that begins to answer your question. Let's talk about it more later on. Going down the comment chat here, Rosa's asking about her citation. That's good. Nora asks, so do we criticize to get to an analysis? Does my question make sense? A criticism or a critique, to be critical about something, is to search for areas of improvement. Criticism can be often taken as a negative term that means pointing out everything that is wrong or the flaws. I prefer to think about it as searching for areas of improvement because I truly believe everything can always continue to be improved upon. And as we're continuing to grow, to evolve, to progress in our learning abilities, we can understand that. So yes and no. An analysis is not necessarily a criticism. It could be a praise. We could be describing an improvement that is hugely successful. Let's pretend for a moment that Canada came up with a very clever plan to resolve the labor shortage and make everybody happy. Did that happen? No, but let's pretend for a second that it did. If that were the case, we would be praising that solution and describing why it was effective and maybe applying it to other situations to also be effective. I'm going to go ahead and sign off on Facebook because it's kind of distracting for me. I keep seeing flowers and hearts and stuff pop up and whatnot. So thank you, and you guys are wonderful. Thanks for being with me today. Check out YouTube if you want to keep watching, okay? But thank you. See you guys later. All right. So what I'm trying to say is we can criticize something or we can describe how something is successful. So sometimes analysis is criticism. Sometimes it's something else. So we have analysis, and criticism falls under that. It's a part of it, but it doesn't describe it. It's not one for one. Hopefully that makes sense, Nora. Rosa says, my teacher last year punished us by writing an analytical critical essay about theories with finding wrong statements and correcting them in 1 hour 30. Okay, I'm not exactly sure how that was punishment, if it was like just forcing you to sit down and write an essay and then just criticizing it. Criticism is important in essays, and it's important for your teachers to seek out areas of your writing that can be improved. But I'm sorry it felt like punishment. It should feel like progress and growth. Hopefully that's how I make you guys feel, like you're growing and improving. I don't want you to feel like I'm criticizing you. I want you to feel like I am helping you by pointing out areas where we can improve, make things stronger, better, easier. That's my goal. Okay. Scrolling down, checking the comments here. Fanny, hi. Fanny France, what's up? I think we criticize the method and samples that researcher used to get the results. Raid, you can do that. Criticism is a big part of academic writing, absolutely. Oh, she just gave you 1.5 hours on the exam, Rosa. Okay, that's pretty common. In the US, a common amount of time for a student to write an analytical essay is an hour, 60 minutes. At least in my experience in universities here in the States. So yeah, it can be a lot of pressure. You can time yourself at home for practice, set a timer on your phone or computer, and see what you can accomplish handwritten in English in 60 minutes without using translation or any sources. That's good practice. I got to get moving here because we only have about a half an hour left of class, and I have a lot I want to talk about. Adam says, everything we find in the issues we criticize with great solution. That's why criticism is important. We criticize to find solutions. I agree, Adam. The important part is solving things, fixing things, making things better, stronger. Okay, so back to Rosa's essay. I'm going to take me off screen so we can really focus on it. What we are looking at here is some corrections. I'm going to look at the latter paragraphs because we looked at the early ones, the intro paragraph and the first body paragraph and into the second. I'm going to start on the third body paragraph here. And I'm just going to read this, and I may stop if I notice anything that can help all of us. But I'm just going to begin reading this for you. All right. Even though immigrants contributed in a positive way to Canada's economy. Oh, and remember, the topic of our third body paragraph is the negative effects of immigrant labor. So something I want you guys to look for here, kind of like our Alexander Fleming and the discovery of penicillin. If you remember that lesson, if you've been in this class for a while, if you see anything that you feel does not support this topic, the negative effects of immigrant or migrant labor, please make a note of it in the comments because it's very important that a paragraph only contains one focused topic. We have a topic sentence and then we want to stick with it. So Rosa's topic sentence has a transition here. Even though immigrants contributed in a positive way to Canada's economy, good, she's referencing the previous paragraph, and then she introduces the new topic. The immigrant labor has some consequences. Excellent word. A word that means negative outcome. So we're instantly on the topic of negative effects of immigrant labor. The immigrants found themselves working in jobs less than their educational level because Canada is not in need of doctors or engineers, but it needs workers in construction or agricultural fields, agriculture fields. I would change this to the adjective agricultural. I think it fits better there. Also, the salary of immigrants is far less than those who are born in Canada, and this may lead to some classification in the Canadian society. We can use the, but we can also just use Canadian as the adjective and say in Canadian society and in an increase in the poverty rate. So now we have some statistics coming up. So we're going to want a citation. Let's see if that happens. According to Immigration Minister John Kenny, so according to, those words according to usually indicates that we're going to have a citation. So please know that. And Rosa, I have to jump in here because your comment in the chat, it is not terrible. Remember when I told everyone that I would never lie to my students? I think it's very important that a teacher always maintain an honesty in their teaching and in their communication with students. It is not terrible, so you can trust that that is true. I promise you, it is not terrible. I'll make myself big just to reiterate. It is not terrible. It's very good writing, but let's focus on it, right? Okay, back to the lesson. According to Immigration Minister John Kenny, over 70%, there's a number, so we have to have a citation now, of economic immigrants end up working in fields other than those for which they were trained, and that the unemployment rate for newcomers is double the national average. Toronto Sun, 2012. Little space there, but that is a perfect citation, an excellent sentence, that supports the topic. So 70% of economic immigrants end up working in fields other than those for which they were trained. Fields here means job types, okay, job types. So this is talking about a negative effect. Someone comes in that has a skilled trade or skilled ability in one field of employment, and then they're put somewhere else. This is why I had hesitation about joining the Peace Corps in traveling overseas and doing medical work and teaching. Oftentimes, while there is one job that you are very good at, very skilled at, if there is a need for another job, and it's a company or an organization that is directing you, they can put you in this job where your talents, your skills are not necessarily being utilized to their fullest potential. Now, I don't mind doing basically any job that helps someone else, whether it's hard labor, digging latrines or whatever, I'll do that. But if I can help in a greater way in some other area, that's important, right? Some of my students, they come here with highly skilled abilities in medicine or finance or law, but they're unable to practice those here because their credentials academically are not recognized by the United States, even if they have more talents than a citizen who works the same job. So, I completely understand this perspective just from my own schema, my own life experience. So Rosa, this is great. You're still on topic. You're citing good examples. As a result of this imbalanced job requirements, this and requirements don't match up quite, subject-verb agreement or determiner agreement. These is what we need there. As a result of these imbalanced job requirements, the rate of unemployment or underemployment for newcomers is going to increase in the coming decades, leading to the rise of skilled workers shortage problems again. All right, so I want someone to tell me in the chat, please. This sentence, this one I'm going to make bold temporarily, and if I can, if not, I'll just zoom in. There we go. Maybe both. This sentence, after what we've discussed at the start of class, is this a fact or is this an analysis? Please answer me in the chat right now. Fanny, this is your first class? Okay, so people who have been here, please answer that question. This sentence that I've made bold that you're looking at right now, this sentence right here, is that analysis or is it a fact? What are we learning? Franny and Yusuf, it's your first class. This is the second to last class in a series. You can watch the earlier ones. You can still watch this one, and it will be beneficial if you want to improve your English writing ability for academics. So higher level university or college English writing, that's what we're doing here. So pay attention, but you can go back and maybe some of this will make a little bit more sense to you. Naitesh says analysis. Abdul Wahab or Abdul, what do you think? Is it analysis or is it a fact that we're stating, a citation or research? Sarah says analysis. Nora says analysis. Val says analysis. Does anyone think it's research or a fact or a citation? Aaron says analysis with a question mark. Come on, Aaron. Say analysis with an exclamation mark. If you have an opinion, state it strongly. Even if you're wrong, at least you'll be very wrong. That's what we want, right? Let's state our opinions. Don't be afraid to be wrong. Give me an analysis with an exclamation mark, Aaron. I want to see that. Chari says, I think an analysis sentence. Okay. Adam says, Rosa is going to say analysis for the previous statements. Yusuf says, it's analysis. I'm still waiting for Aaron's exclamation mark. So I'm going to read the sentence again. Anybody who hasn't answered, please answer. As a result of these imbalanced job requirements, the rate of unemployment or underemployment for newcomers is going to increase in the coming decades, leading to the rise of skilled workers shortage problems again. And this actually should be rise. I'm sorry, I missed that earlier. Rosa says research. Aaron gives me the exclamation marks. Nora exclamation marks. Good. The reason I say that, and let me explain. Everybody's right, by the way. And Rosa, you're right too, but let me tell you a little bit more about that, okay? It is analysis. This is analysis, okay? So good job, everybody. Excellent. Why this is analysis and why Rosa is a little bit, just slightly thinking that it's research is because she read and she had this opinion as she was reading. So this is a tricky thing for students to comprehend when we're first starting to think about essay composition on a meta level. We're thinking about thinking. That's what I mean by meta. We are thinking about thinking. Raid is right as well. He says it's an opinion sentence. Yes, analysis is opinion, but it's an educated opinion. It's an informed opinion. So it's an opinion we base off information and research. So Rosa feels like this is research, and you notice she's the only one that said research. Everybody else said analysis, and that's exactly what I expected. We all feel that it's analysis because it's clear to us, readers, that this is an opinion based on this research. So we see this research, we see that, okay, this has been a situation that has been slowly building over time, and it's gotten worse and worse. We can form that opinion based on the information that Rosa provided. So the reason Rosa feels like it's research is because this is an opinion she formed as she was doing research. These are her words. These are the words that she chose to describe this. It's based on research, but it is analysis. It is her opinion. Sarah says, "Sir, I really need help in writing." She doesn't feel she has the ability to write a good academic writing example, and her exams are very close. Well, pay attention, Sarah. Go back, watch some of our older videos, pay attention to this, and you will improve your writing. That's exactly why we're here, to improve your writing. Luciana says, "I can't answer. I'm just listening to your voice. I'm writing something really urgent for my job." No problem, Luciana. I'm happy you're listening. Good luck with whatever it is you're writing for your job. If you have any questions or need help with it, you can email me. Roble says, "Josh, in order for me to understand this, I have to go back to review your past videos." A little bit, yes. There will still be information in this class that will help you, but it will help you even more if you review the older videos. That's totally fine. Even the connection acting nuts at the moment. I think you mean your internet connection. I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe reduce the quality a little. Go from HD to something lower if you're watching in HD. Okay. So Rosa says, "My mind reached that the labor shortage will appear again." Exactly, Rosa. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the opinion you form after doing your research. So I hope we all understand now why it is so important to come up with an outline, which is what we think we're going to write about, our essay plan, and then follow that outline and do research. And our opinion slowly forms as we do our research. This is why your thesis is often one of the last things you write, because you slowly develop a stronger and stronger opinion, and after more analysis, more research, and more thinking about that research. Atala, it looks like you are from Jordan. Hi, welcome. Hi to Jordan. Glad to have you. I'm happy to hear you're trying to learn as much as you can. That's awesome. That's so cool. So back to the essay here. Rosa, good job. Looks awesome. You did an amazing job. I'm really happy with your draft. This is really good work, truly good work. So I want to look at Rosa's conclusion paragraph, and then we're going to take a look at Aaron's essay. The Canadian government has, this is her conclusion paragraph, okay? And once again, thank you, Rosa, so much for giving me permission to share your essay. I think this helps all the students. And students, please give Rosa a big thank you for doing this. It's very, very nice of her and very brave of her, too, to just share her writing with everybody. So thank you so much. That's very kind of you. She says, the Canadian government has succeeded in some extent to find solutions for its aging population and work shortage by creating different programs that stimulate people who are looking for good opportunities from around the world. This immigration has not only affected Canada's economy, which became stronger than before, but the rate of aging population has declined as well. So this is a very good start to her conclusion paragraph. Now, you mentioned earlier, Rosa, that you didn't feel like you had your thesis yet. I'm going to agree with you. You don't have your thesis yet. This is pointing towards your thesis. I think all of us, it's not that your thesis statement is wrong. It's that this thesis statement doesn't exist yet. You have a great introduction into your final concluding paragraph. I'm going to type right here at the bottom, if you don't mind, Rosa, in your documents. You can save it as notes for later. Here is how you structure your conclusion paragraph. You end your conclusion paragraph with a brief summary of your supporting paragraphs. Okay? A brief summary of your supporting, and I'm not even going to say paragraphs, I'm going to say research. So basically, beginning students will oftentimes simply create a conclusion paragraph that begins with, as you can see, I found out this, and this. And that's a very rudimentary way to compose your final paragraph. I would prefer you don't do that. I would prefer you paraphrase the information we got before concisely. So you say basically all of your information that supports your thesis in a summary. So that's another way to say this. Very short, which is concise. We can use that. That's a more academic term. Concise, paraphrased, or a concise paraphrase of your supporting research evidence. Concise paraphrase of your support for your thesis. Okay, that's another way we could say that. So that's how you begin your conclusion paragraph. Then what you will do is you will restate your thesis. Okay? Restate your thesis. And I cannot emphasize enough the restate part. Restate your thesis. So the thesis that we have will exist in two places in your essay. At the end of your introduction paragraph, so we're going to hint at it. The last sentence in Rosa's introduction paragraph is, immigrant labor did not only solve work skilled shortage in Canada, but also save the demographic rate from shrinking in the coming years. So out of the gate, we know that Rosa thinks that it's a positive thing. Okay? That's perfect. That's very good, Rosa. Excellent work. So what that is going to be down here is we're missing a thesis somewhere in here. She summarizes her research. And then here is where we need immigration is good for Canada. Canada's labor shortage. Okay, this is essentially going to be Rosa's thesis. It's good for Canada's labor shortage, okay? But first she has to summarize why. So she gives a summary, and then we restate the thesis, okay? So The thesis comes next in your conclusion paragraph. The last part of your conclusion paragraph is what I call a call to action. Okay, this can come in many different ways. It can be a question that gets people thinking. For example, I could choose, after all of this, to open the conversation to a worldwide audience and say, why don't we do this in every country? If I truly think, after all my research, that this is a really good plan and it worked amazingly, why not do this everywhere? I could end with a question that makes you think. And students inevitably ask me, well, why would I do that? Why would I end with a question? It's a rhetorical question. And remember, a rhetorical question is not designed to elicit an answer. It's designed to put a thought in your mind, okay? So I can make everyone listening right now think of something if I want to, right? I can do that. I can do that simply by asking a rhetorical question, a question where I really don't want any answers from you. I really don't care that you answer me. I care that you think about what I want you to think about. Here's an example. What do you guys think about a purple turtle? What do you think about a purple turtle? Now, I really don't care what answers I get from that, but what are you all thinking about in your mind right now? What is in your mind? A purple turtle, right? I put that image, that idea in your mind. I made you think about that. Language is so powerful. You can put something in somebody's mind, right? And we want to do this in a positive way, in a good way, where we can get people thinking about an important issue. In this case, it is that we believe, after our research, I'm speaking for Rosa here, that immigration is a good thing. So I could end with a question, or I can end with an actual call to action, an imperative. We must do this now in every country across the world. That's a very strong statement, and I want to make sure that I back up that statement or have backed up that statement with strong supporting facts and evidence in addition to my analysis. But that would be my call to action. We must do this in every country now. It's so important. Or we can be a little more subtle about it, and we can make our call to action simply a statement that we believe. I could say something powerful but subtle, like, this is the best thing Canada has ever done to resolve their labor shortage. Or it is clear that Canadians will benefit greatly from this action that was taken, from this resolve, from this solution. We can make it a little softer if we want. I'm going to go back and review the chat here because I got to talking and got distracted a little bit. So, Azalea from Mexico. Hi, how are you? Okay. Nora says, after some time we get attached to what we're writing and we just start having our own opinions about it. Yes, it's important to care about what we write, but be careful. That's why we take a little break and we go back and revise our drafts. We need to take a break from our writing so that we can look at it with fresh eyes. Adam says, is the rise of skilled workers shortage problem relating to Rosa's thesis? The problem is not related to her thesis. The solution is related to her thesis. Immigrant labor, good thing. Alejandra says, hi Josh, I've been trying to catch up on your lessons. Never have the time. I want to learn more about this. Yes, listen as much as you want. I'm so happy to have you in class. Thank you very much. Rosa says, this is an introduction to the conclusion, but we are limited with 500 words. Oh, okay. Ignore that limitation, Rosa. 500 words is just to guide students. Usually that's a minimum. You can go over that. That's fine. Go ahead and finish. Don't worry about the word count, okay? I'm sorry, I should have clarified that from the beginning. Yusuf asks, shall we share our writings? If you're a premium subscriber, yes. Yusuf, I don't remember if you're a premium subscriber. If you are, let me know, and then yes, and I'll be happy to correct it for you. Chari says, if we don't make mistakes, we don't learn. Absolutely. You're totally right. Right says, in conclusion. Yes, but in this level academic writing, don't start your conclusion paragraph with in conclusion. That's like starter level stuff, right? I think everybody here is above that level in their writing ability. So please do not start your conclusion paragraphs with in conclusion. I will mark it and say try harder. Questions make it a little more exciting. You're right. It took 2 classes about academic writing without any practice, just instructions. Really, these classes help me a lot. You're so welcome, Rosa. I'm really glad they help you. Alejandra says, should we come to say our thesis statement based on our supporting research only, or can we add general knowledge? Good question, Alejandra. You can do both. Your thesis should be supported by your research, but you can include analysis, which is your general knowledge, your schema that you bring to your essay. So if you know something, you can say it, but keep in mind, anytime you state a fact, if it can be an opinion, you're fine. If it is something that can be disputed empirically with evidence, if I try to tell you that it is daytime when it is night, and someone can point out the window and show me the moon, at nighttime, all the stars, and I'm trying to say that it's daytime, that's not my opinion. That's me trying to refute a fact. So it's a delicate balance, but just consider that. If it's something that you can't really prove, then it's your opinion. If it's something that can easily be proved, or even not so easily be proved, then it is an analysis of a fact. So we have to support that. So we should base that on our research, but you can include a little bit of general knowledge too. Good question, Alejandra. Everything must be on topic. You're right, Adam. Okay, so I want to go over and take a look at Aaron's essay, and specifically, I want to look at Aaron's last paragraph here. So we have our introduction, body paragraph, body paragraph, body paragraph. So we have this third body paragraph. And I just wanted to look one more time at some of our citations that I noticed. Many students are doing this. We just want to make sure that we have a space after the last word before the parenthesis, and then we use the last name and the date. Aaron did a very good job of these citations, but that was the one thing I noticed, and I noticed that in many students' writing. We just want to put that space there. So very good work, and thank you, Aaron, also for sharing your essay with us. I really appreciate it. We only have an hour, so I'd love to go into detail about everybody's essays, and we can mix it up. We've showed Rosa's 2 classes in a row because she was the first to give me permission, so I focused on those, and thank you again. But thank you also, Aaron, and everybody in the chat. Please thank Aaron as well for sharing his essay and also giving me permission to use it in class. That's so helpful. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you, Aaron. That's very nice. All right. Adam says, TOEFL writing, the instructor generally advises students to show clue word in conclusion. Yes, Adam. A clue word, I think you mean a word that indicates that it is a conclusion, like a transition word or phrase. And we saw some of these used in writing, the transition words. If you mean something different, please clarify. I'm not sure I understand your comment there, so please clarify for me. Nora says, I'm sorry, but what is the word that means general knowledge? The one you said with it as a synonym, just the spelling. Oh, I think you're talking about schema. Schema, and we can just Google this to give you Google's definition. It's an academic word, so they usually pop up with a definition right here. So a representation of a plan or theory in the form of an outline or model. And concept which is common to all members of a class, general, essential, type, or form. So schema is the rationalization and representation of a mode of thought, a mode of thinking. And we can use it in academics to mean your current knowledge of a topic. So I went to school for education and English and anthropology. So I have background information. I have a foundation and schema on that. I've never studied, for example, Farsi. I've never studied the language of Farsi. So I have no schema. I have no foundation. I guess I know that it uses the same alphabet or character system as Arabic, I believe. But I have very little knowledge. So I do not have prior information. So you can look it up and check it out and try to use it. I always advise students to use new words when they come into their vocabulary. So try to use that 5 times this week, Nora, in comments, in speech, in your everyday life. It will be helpful and it will help you remember it. Val, you're welcome. Emerson, you say, teacher, can you say what software you use for make transmission using 2 cameras? I wasn't using 2 cameras. I was using 1 camera, which is I can't show you that camera because the camera is what we're recording with, but actually I can show you that camera. You know what I'll do? I'll open up my camera here and you can see maybe, oops, sorry. Does that work? Are you able to see the camera? I put little googly eyes on it. So that's the camera we're using. And the other camera you saw was my cell phone on Facebook. So hopefully that answers your question. And software, we use OBS, which is Open Broadcaster software. So, Raid, your past experience and accumulated knowledge. Yes, that is a good definition for schema. I have a really important exam, am senior, so it's really important to me. I have some problems with the cleft sentence. Can you please help me, Josh? There's a great lesson on cleft sentences. I think Neil taught it in one of his classes. We don't have room for it today. Class is actually over. It's sad, but we have to end for today. We can talk about it perhaps in another class where we're talking about sentences and writing. But I think that will be covered in more detail, Attila, in another course, like probably a 125 course or even a 120 course may discuss it. I know 130 does for sure. Okay, Rosa says Sean did a class about cleft sentences, and you can check that out. If you need help finding it, Attila, then email Zach at smartenglish.com. Zach can help you find it. Or you can email Sean or hit us up on Facebook. I will share with you guys some of the websites that will help you there. You can search our YouTube channel, of course, but you can go to our Facebook page and ask questions there, and I'm sure Mark or me or Sean or someone, when we are available, will link those. So there's the link to Smrt Live if you want to become a premium subscriber, get your essays corrected like Rosa's and Aaron's and everybody else. Nora, you're so welcome. Jose from Mexico, you're so welcome too. Yeah, please check that out. Of course, our YouTube channel, you can search for it yourself, Attila, right there on YouTube, the channel you're watching us on. If you want to join us on Facebook, check us out. This is Learn English on Facebook. It's facebook.com/groups/LEO group, LEOF, Learn English on Facebook group. That's that link right there. Aaron says, I thought your camera was the more spatial professorial camera. This is a great camera. I mean, it looks like your everyday webcam, but it's actually HD 1080p. It's a really nice camera. I have one that looks like it, but it's like way lower quality. This is HD 1080p. It's an awesome camera. And Raid says, thank you so much. You're welcome, Raid. Of course, happy to help you. You have a wonderful day too, Rosa and Nora and Raid and Naitesh. You're welcome. I also wanted to share with you guys our Spokane College Facebook page. Hit us up on there. Say hi. You know, if you want to chat, a lot of our students are on there, and they love to talk about English. Ask them about cleft sentences. They might be right, they might be wrong, but you can chat with them. We have some very smart students. We have some students who are still learning too and might be able to get a little bit of help from you. Felipe, you're so welcome. Robel, thank you. Merry Christmas to you as well. Take care. Abdul, you're so welcome. And did YouTube update the chat window? I'm not sure what you mean, Rosa. Let me know. Also, if you guys want to come and apply and study at my college with me in person, I'll personally give you a high five every morning. I do it with most of the students that come into the school. We can do that too, okay? So just apply right there. It'd be great to have you actually come and study here. We teach this class in class, but you'd get to do it for 4 hours a day, every day, and you get a lot more feedback, a lot more practice, a lot more homework. So the best way to learn English is to come to America and live with us English speakers. You get to go out and hang out outside of class, get coffee, go to restaurants, use your English all the time. It's seriously the best way to learn. So if you have an opportunity, if you can come, do it. It's the way to learn English the fastest and the most efficiently, and you can learn perfect English if you're living here. You can do it at home too. It's just going to take you a lot longer, a lot more time. So check it out. Aaron wants a comment on grammar error. Yeah, Aaron. Do you want that in your essay? If so, just send me an email. Let me know. And you're welcome, everybody. Okay, so I think that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are awesome. I'm so lucky to be your teacher. Really happy to help you guys to practice English, to be excited about it. So thanks as always for being here. As usual, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.